So, once you've got your logo picked out and you're more certain about your brand's colors and overall look, you're now ready to put together a website. Now, you could turn to a service such as Fiverr again and pay someone to throw together a website for you, but thanks to plug-and-play options like Wix, Squarespace, WordPress, you can easily do it yourself and save a little bit of money. There's also great options that allow you to host your portfolio, pricing, and tell about your company in a marketplace style such as VidLead that would allow you to forego having to build a website while also having the advantage of the marketing they do to push clients into your portfolio, and we'll talk about that later. But one thing I would avoid is paying somebody $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 to design a very complex website. I've seen friends of mine who run businesses do this. Do not spend that much money on a website, especially for a video production company. You just don't need it to be that special. You need a place where people can land, see your videos, click a button, send you an email. Pretty simple. But there are a few elements you should include in a website, and we'll go over them in this video. So first, let's talk about using Wix or Squarespace. They're both going to be around $15 to $40 a month, depending on the package you go with. They're both very similar in ease of use and capabilities. And if you don't plan on selling any physical products, then you'll pay under $20 a month for either of these options, and even less if you pay for it annually. Now, signing up with either one of these generally comes with a free domain, which is nice. You don't have to purchase through GoDaddy or domain.com. This will save you some time and money from having to connect your domain to your site and build that later, which is another reason I like to go with these types of web builders. But between Wix and Squarespace, I tend to lean more towards recommending Squarespace, and the reason being is that I like their template designs. I think Squarespace sites just look better with less initial effort. Now, there are tons of other options out there as well. I mentioned WordPress, but it's going to require you to learn a little bit of coding, and I don't want to learn coding, so Wix and Squarespace are my top recommendations. But I'm now going to show you how Dallin, one of our team members, put together a site for Creative House Media on Squarespace, and the principles and decisions he made, and some of the elements that make up a functional website. So even though we're building it in Squarespace, the principles apply to any builder. Now, quickly, let's talk about picking a domain name for your site. There's just a couple best practices to keep in mind. Number one, use a .com if you can. .org or .net are decent too, but do what you can to snag a .com, even if it means adjusting your domain a tad. Number two, keep it short. The longer it is, the harder it's going to be to type in or remember. And number three, use keywords to pop up on a search engine like Google. For example, if your name is Brown Cow Creative, then browncowvideo.com would be a good option to get that keyword video in there for when people type in videos. Now, our domain is creativehousemedia.com, and we made sure it was available when we were selecting the name of the business. Then once you've got our domain name, you can move on to building the website. Going through Squarespace, you're going to see a lot of templates to choose from. All the templates in Squarespace 7.1, which is the latest version of their software as of the making of this video, allow you to do the same things. So no matter which one you choose, you can get the same functionality out of it. So pick the style you like best to start from, or you can always start with a blank canvas as well. But having a starting point makes building a website a lot easier. And Dallin chose the Nolan template to build our Creative House Media website. He liked the font packages they had loaded up and ready to go, even though you can change them yourself. And he also liked the simple colors and sections they'd already built out. So by going with the Nolan template, it saved him some time from having to go in and add them himself. He then ended up choosing the business package and paying annually for this site, and the free domain he paid for, which came to $276 a year. So here's the website he ended up making after modifying the template. He kept it clean and uncomplicated and left most of the same sections as they already were. So starting from the top, you see we have the logo up here. Then you have your elevator pitch or slogan, basically a short phrase that helps describe what your business does so that someone instantly knows what you do or provide as soon as they land on the website. This phrase should be short, should tell what you have to offer, and be crystal clear on what they can expect if they were to hire you. Your potential customer should understand what you're offering within 5 seconds of landing on that page. So an effective landing page will usually include your logo, some kind of slogan, an image or video to immediately tell your customer what you offer. For our slogan or elevator pitch, we originally had elevate your business with unparalleled video production. But I wanted to make it even more concise, so we adjusted it to elevate your business with cutting edge video. This describes our service in one simple line right off the bat. Therefore, they don't have to scroll through the rest of the site trying to figure out what services we provide. Then after the slogan, we have our demo reel that we put together a GIF and a thumbnail to make it even more eye-catching. We like to use this technique a lot on the landing page for a couple reasons. reasons. One, it calls attention to them a lot more. And two, if they don't end up watching it, they at least get an idea based on a few of the images that came through. And then right under the highlight reel, we turn their attention again to the video above, again setting the expectation of what they're going to get if they click. The idea that someone hitting a play button can expect to see a video may seem like common sense, but it's not always that way. So even putting arrows pointing towards the video can help lead the viewer to know what action to take. I also make sure to set up buttons all along the way so that at any point, if they've decided to buy from us, so to speak, they can without having to travel too far to find one of those buttons. And for the call to action button itself, you'll want to make sure that this is a different standout color like red or green or orange, and a simple phrase that lets them know what they are clicking on, like send us a message or let's work together or get a free quote or contact us now. I also highly recommend that you set up your site in a way that your viewer never has to scroll if they don't want to. They can get all the information they need without having to scroll down once. So in this case, they see the logo, the slogan, they see the demo reel, they get a feel for what that work looks like, and then they have a button they can click on to hire you. This is the most important part of your website, is what shows up right when the page loads. So give them those key ingredients out of the gates, and then everything after they scroll should just be supplementary. So now scrolling down the page, we have a who we've worked with section as a type of social proof. This gives your brand credibility and authority to show that you can be trusted because others have already trusted you. This works the same as a review or testimonial section, which we'll definitely need to add later on, but we haven't collected any testimonials for this new brand. But it's important to know that 9 out of 10 customers read reviews before buying a product. So having clients write reviews, or better yet, filming client reviews and putting those on your website can drastically affect the way you gain potential clients' trust and positively affect their buying decision. And this is one of those things that I feel is missing from a lot of video production websites, is they neglect putting any social proof via client testimonials or reviews. So as soon as you've shot your first few projects, immediately ask for a written or filmed review from your clients so you can stick it on your website. Then scrolling down the website, you see a small section here of what we do to explain our services better and give people a chance to understand more about our services. So far, they may know that you do video production, but until now, they may not know that we can also provide writing scripts or that we hire actors and so on. So it's nice to have a spot to show what other services you can offer, but just make sure you don't put too many things on there or else they'll think you're a jack of all trades but master of none. So just showcase some of the ones that you're best known for. And of course, you'll notice that I put another bright button that would take them straight to our contact page to start working with us. The next section I have is our portfolio. I don't have every single video we've ever made, but just some of the best ones. Put your best foot forward from different categories or industries that we're capable of. If you do want to show every single thing you've ever done, then I recommend creating another page with all your portfolio work. And at the end of the smaller showcase on your landing page, put a button that tells them they can go see more of your work on a different page. Also, you'll notice that I've put the length of each video before the clip. This is again trying to set an expectation for what they're getting themselves into when they hit that play button. Now, scrolling down, I have a spot here that talks about why people may not always use video. These are common objections that someone may have as to why they don't want to get involved with video project. If you can bring those up before they have a chance, then they can see the answer and not get scared off. Now, we're selling our company as a solution to the problems that they are already having, so we threw in a stat about videos to build our brand as an expert in the field and to also reinstate in the client's mind what videos can do for their company and how it can deliver them an ROI or return on investment of paying us to make them a video. Then we hit them with yet another button labeled Get a Free Quote, and by using the word free, I'm trying to impress upon them that reaching out to us requires no commitment from them. And this is a common strategy that I use a ton with my brand Full-Time Filmmaker, is I offer a free webinar, free 1-hour training, and then people click on that, give me their email address, and then I have their contact information to market them in the future, communicate with them, open up discussions. So lead magnets is something we won't talk a lot about in this video, is another way a lot of our students or successful Full-Time Filmmaker members have been able to get new clients in the door, is by trading something for free in exchange for their email address so that you can start building a contact list. And at the bottom here, we put a frequently asked questions section so I could answer commonly asked questions. And then right after that, again, there is a final call to action, which will lead them to our contact page. In the footer, we have our website with our info@creativehousemedia.com email address. And if you're only focusing on local clients, you can put your office address here as well. One tip here is we do recommend having a professional email address. Having saying info@creativehousemedia.com looks a lot more professional than creativehousemedia@gmail.com. And Squarespace will help you with that. If you go into the settings tab and down to the Google Workspace spot, they will facilitate and link everything for you. And if you're building your site any other way, you can just as easily go to workspace.google.com and purchase one from there. It does cost a few dollars a month to have a custom domain, but again, it definitely does have a more professional look. And then the final step in getting your site all ready to launch is your contact form. With this, the best practice is to keep it short with as few fields as possible. I just have the name and email required, and then the optional message portion. And I don't even think it's necessary to put the first and last. I think you can just put one line for name, and that's plenty. The point is you don't want them to have to do too much and scare them away from leaving their contact information. So no need to ask for phone numbers or anything that's a little bit too personal. You can ask that stuff in follow-up emails. Just focus on getting an email address. Then we softened up the submit button in order to make it seem a little bit less final and scary to click and send their info by changing it from submit to good to go. And this is all a work in progress in our first iteration of the site. And you should always be changing and dialing in all those details once you have more data to see how people are using the site and how to improve it. And then once they submit, I have this thank you page come up so they can know it worked and what to expect from here. We just tell them that we'll be in touch shortly. And again, give them our email so that if they want to reach out, they could reach out immediately. You could also use this page to showcase another highlight reel if you wanted, but we've kept it pretty simple. And that's pretty much it. That took Dallin all of a week to put together in the background while he was doing other things. And by no means is he a professional website designer. And there's plenty of things he could have done better and things he will do ongoing to improve the aesthetic and the effectiveness of the sales funnel by testing out different phrases and whatnot. But these are the main elements you'll want to include in an effective website that can actually convert traffic into new leads. The biggest mistake I see videographers making is they spend a ton of time on making the site look very pretty, but it's confusing to navigate and doesn't actually generate leads effectively because the functionality isn't there. So functionality should always trump aesthetic, but it's obviously best to have the combo of both. Now, if you don't want to pay $200 to $300 a year and don't want to waste a week or so designing a website, we mentioned sites like VidLead as a cheaper alternative, which allows you to drag and drop some logos, photos, and videos into an already built out template that contains these most important elements of an effective landing page. And this can be done within minutes, assuming you've already built logos and have photos and videos ready to upload. And this can definitely serve as your website that you send to potential clients for them to see your portfolio without you having to spend too much time up front. And this service costs less than $100 a year. So you'll more than double your savings. Plus, like I mentioned, you'll benefit from the free traffic of browsing clients that come to the website and are searching for videographers, and yours is one of them they will search through. Keep in mind though, VidLead should be a starter or supplementary service. I do recommend as you grow your business to eventually have a dedicated website. It's just going to make you look overall more professional. And once you have built that website, you are set and ready to put your website out there to the world. You can start including it in cold emails, business cards, social media profiles, running paid ads to it, anywhere where you think you can start generating some traffic. But that's it for setting up a website. If you have any further questions, please let me know.